Everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. In this video, we discuss what should happen after the United debacle. Little were we to know that Nuno would be sacked and Antonio Conte would be tipped to be our new manager. We will do a reaction video as soon as Conte is announced. Now let's get to the United video. Come on, you Spurs.
Welcome to the Spurs 9501 podcast. From Kane to the Lane, the final say on all things Tottenham. Here are your hosts, Steve, Ray, Cam and Jam.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spurs 9501 podcast. This is Ray in London. We're all for, again, convening after another, if I could swear, I would swear, another really bad showing by Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester United, a 3-0 defeat. And we've got our special guest, so we'll go first with our friend in Florida.
Yes, Cam in Florida, sunny Florida. That's about the only sun Tottenham's going to be seeing for a while.
Jam in Connecticut here. Another miserable day at the office, right?
And Steve, who had the misfortune of actually going to the game. Hi.
I thought today we're not going to do, normally we do first half, second half, blah, blah, blah. There's no point doing any of that. We'll talk a little bit about the match, but really want to talk about where we go from here and where we are at the moment.
Well, I think we lost possession from our kickoff, and that was pretty much the way things unfolded. I know we're not going to go into the match in great detail because it's just an appalling thing to have to do. But this was a continuation, wasn't it, of the performances that we've seen. We had West Ham last week. West Ham weren't a particularly good team, and I don't think Man United are a particularly good team either, to be honest. And Liverpool beat them 5-0, and we saw Brighton draw with Liverpool 2-2 today. So I don't think United are a fantastic team. The Spurs seem to me that those bunch of players just have to ship out now. And the manager as well. I'm relatively supportive of the manager in that if you just keep revolving the manager without dealing with the issue of the players, then you never move forward. But the players looked utterly disinterested. They can't pass the ball. There's no spirit there. And this was the first time that I've seen the fans turn. I know they've been on forums and so on, but actually in the stadium itself.
What was the atmosphere like before that? When we went 1-0 down and then 2-0. What was the atmosphere like before that, Steve?
Well, before that, I think there was a feeling of inevitability. I think we thought we were going to lose because most games we do where the team is reasonable. But it's the manner of the loss, isn't it? It's the manner of where we just don't seem to show any fight or any spirit.
Nuno somehow has instilled within the players this whole culture of if you hold the ball and pass it around, that means you're doing really well. I think he's forgotten that football is about scoring goals. Because the team is totally disinterested in goal scoring. I think we've got one of the worst records in the Premier League when it comes to scoring goals. So we're not we don't like scoring goals. We just like passing the ball around and looking pretty.
Yeah, I think everything's been said, but God, it's just awful. It's just so bad. We've had weeks and weeks of bad football, and it was bad with Mourinho, and we've been here before, but it's not even comparable.
Is this the worst performance of the season, Jam?
This is the worst performance since 2001 when we had just an awful team. And I don't know, man. I just don't know where we're going. But it really comes down to Nuno not being a good manager. And then the players, like what Dad said, like I'm saying, there's two players that were there playing football that wanted to win that football match. And that was the two new players that started the match. It's like they're being played a practical joke on, why are they here? I would be so upset to be even one of them. They're still getting paid their money. So why should they care anymore than the rest of the players who have been here for seasons trying to succeed and
destroy the team,
fail, keep failing. And man, it's upsetting.
What do you think about the thing that he dropped Reguilon and put Ben Davies there because he said apparently Ben Davies has been more consistent, but Reguilon, I think there was a bit of a spat with him when he took him off at West Ham. They had a discussion do you think he was actually just disciplining Reguilon, telling him who's in charge, and that's why he played Ben Davies?
It's definitely possible. It's hard to tell with Nuno where he stands because he gives you no personality, which I'm sure reflects in training. There's no passion. He seems standoffish, and if you really wanted to put that point home, why was Reguilon even on the bench? We had four other defenders on the bench. But when are we ever going to try a different formation when something isn't working? When we're chasing a match. Why not take Davis off? He played the whole 90 minutes. You know, what was the matter? You go to free at the back. You got 2 centre backs, 3 centre backs on the bench. I do something creative and interesting.
And why wait to go before we go 2-0 down before you do anything?
The change of Bergwijn wasn't so much against Bergwijn as it was. Celso has been awful. Davis has been awful. Both of them get the start, and it's like, I understand. You know, a lot of people have conflicting ideas about Reggie and Ndombele, and but both of them would have played better than either one of those two played today. Not to say that they're the answer to any of our questions, because they're not. They're just not. A lot of our players are just not. They need to be shipped out.
I can see Cam is bursting to get. Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
We're missing the elephant in the room here, and the big elephant here for me is the fact that Harry Kane has decided, well, I'm going to screw the fans, I'm going to screw the club, I'm not going to be playing, I'm going to laugh, take the out of you on the pitch, and no one has got the balls to take him off at half time and say, you know, hell with it, get off that pitch and put somebody else who wants to play.
But who's he going to put on there? Who's he going to put on to play up front?
Anybody, because even a 10-year-old would walk faster than Harry Kane. Harry Kane was strolling today. Nobody in the club has even, in spite of the fact that we are now at game 10 and he scored 1 goal and 1 assist and is absolutely disinterested in scoring any more goals, can say, fine, there you go, you're in the under-21s, go and play in the under-21s till you get your head sorted out, and let people who want to play for this club play for this club, whether we win or lose. But he definitely don't want to play for the club. So why is he playing? Steve, tell me, was that the feeling in the ground?
Well, I think it's going to take a lot for people to be anti-Kane. What there isn't, there's not a great deal of support for him, I would say. From
after his behaviour today,
it shows himself in comments. You know, that you overhear rather than chants and what have you. The thing with Kane today as well is that you were quite right that he strolled around, but then in the I think the second half he had one chance where he broke through, and he then tried to cross the ball or pass the ball, and it was absolute rubbish, and it was just completely wrong. And he then went a bit lunatic, and he chased one player down, chased the other player down, and then fouled him. You could see what he was going to do, but that's the only time he put any commitment into it.
Cam, is this Harry Kane getting his own back on Levy, saying, F you didn't give me my leave, you're going to get a depreciating asset now to sell?
Absolutely. I mean, you nailed it. You've nailed it. I mean, you don't suddenly turn from being a 30-goal scorer for 5 seasons to not scoring 1 goal and actually not moving around. I mean, you know, if he was having all these chances and they were hitting the crossbar and the goalkeepers were pulling off great saves and something was happening, would say, you know, he's going through a patch. You know, everyone has that bad luck. It happens to everybody. He's not even having any shots. No. He's not even trying. Is that his fault, or is that because he's not getting the service that came? Disinterested. You're in a game. Is it his fault, or is it because he's not getting the service?
He had his customary free kick today. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Jan, what do you think we should do with Harry Kane?
I've said this maybe in the fifth match of the season that he needed to be dropped, right? And he's still getting game time. Like Dele Alli needed to be dropped. For some reason, it took him Nuno long enough to finally figure it out. But for some reason, with Kane, you know, like I've always speculated, there's got to be something in his contract where he has to play. Otherwise, I don't understand why he continues to play. It just doesn't make sense.
Steve, some of the Nuno substitutions just don't make any sense. First taking Moura off and then bringing Dele Alli on, who's on absolutely zilch in all the Premier League matches, bringing him on potentially to change the game. What's going on there?
I've got to bring somebody on, haven't I? I've got to do something. I mean, he brought on Ndombele on, and then Ndombele spent most of his time in the centre halves position. Yeah. I mean,
it was really funny because I saw a cross coming in, and the only guy in the middle, Kane, wasn't even there. It was Oliver Skip in the middle. Can you believe it?
I think as well is that any one of the 60,000 there today could have set that team up to perform better than Nuno did. I think they could have done that. You know, we didn't press, we didn't get any width, we kept playing in congested areas, we tried to do little 1-2s which weren't working. We always give the ball to a midfielder who's facing the wrong way. We don't allow the centre halves to come forward and distribute the ball, when in fact probably our best passer of a ball now is Romero, looking at the way things were developing. There's just, he's not doing anything even with the tools he's got. You know, it's crazy. How can you be in the Champions League final And then 2
He's
years
destroyed
later,
their ability to attack.
But we can't lay all the blame on Nuno because he's saying the same thing.
well,
The players are not performing. Exactly what Mourinho was saying. We can't blame him for everything, Cam.
Like I said, our last thing, can I just add to this? You need a manager that can get the best out of the tools that you have. You don't have a leak in your house and call an electrician. Yeah. Just because they're both tradespeople doesn't mean they know what they're doing. My main point to you, though, today, Ray, is that a lot of these players, the way that Nuno is allowing them to get in there and to play that way and to get away with this, is not just this game; it's every game right now. Is there just doesn't seem that it's ever going to change.
Guys, I've got his interview. I think maybe should we play his interview so we can,
Yeah, there's some good
I've not
family
seen
stuff
it,
in there.
so I'm quite keen
Yeah,
to
just
see it.
he was saying until he got the goal, it was pretty even match. Do you agree with that?
Oh, well, there was no ambition from Spurs at all.
Yeah, there was nothing.
We took. If you looked at the goal kicks we had with Lloris, he would meander over, pick the ball up, pop it down, wait till everyone was marked, and then after about 5 minutes, he'd pass it over to Emerson. It was I thought it was pathetic, actually. I thought we were aiming to see if we could get a draw from sort of kickoff.
I mean, guys, what's going to happen now? I mean, do you think he's going to survive or not? What do you think, Jam?
I'm hoping we get an announcement real soon, as soon as you post this.
I mean, I don't understand what's going on. What's the situation? What we're trying to do?
To
what
be fair, the
direction
signings we made this season have been positive. I wouldn't dislike any of the signings that have come in. Some of those are the players that should stay.
Yeah, Jam, we addressed one elephant. The other elephant in the room, which you have to address, which I know we joke about every time, Ray, but it's really important. Why do good players come to Spurs and turn into utter crap within 5 games? I mean, why? Why are we getting these players with potential? I mean, look, Solskjaer is a prime example, right? He played. He was great when he was at Celta Vigo. He's a regular in the Argentinian team. Yeah. You see him at Tottenham Hotspur, and you wouldn't even want him in the Championship.
No, he's awesome.
Allegedly, the Ndombele was the next great thing since Zinedine Zidane. Well, I mean, he couldn't even shine his boots.
Yeah, I think we think the Celso is going to be a sort of replacement for Eriksen, and he never was that. We thought that Ndombele was going to be the sort of new Dembele. He was going to be able to drive forward and do, what he did. And they're just not as good at players as those players.
Will Levy sack him or not?
I think that the situation is like this. Normally what happens is, let's take this example of Solskjaer or even Arteta, who was under serious pressure this season, right? He went out there, he G'd up his team, he smacked them. I don't know what he did to them. Have you seen our Arsenal playing now?
Yeah.
You could see that the guy thought, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job and I'm going to do something about it. Solskjaer, you could see the pressure on his face. You could see the way. I don't think Man United are great by any means. And beating Tottenham 3-0 doesn't save anyone's job because anyone can beat Tottenham 3-0 right now.
But he changed the system, didn't he? He went to 3 at the back.
He did something. And, Ronaldo stepped up for him. Whether we like it or not, he stepped up for him. 1 assist, 1 goal, bang. And
great goal.
Nuno just seems to think, go on then, try me. I'll make it worse. What are you going to do now? Any other manager is busting a gut, crying, tears, and saying, I'm going to do something, get something out of them. Sometimes I've seen managers go crazy. I think it was at Newcastle where they even dropped Shearer. England once dropped Lineker because they were desperate to get something done at the Euros. You may remember that, all of you guys. Yeah, but they did something. Might have been the wrong thing. Shearer was on the bench, but at least they were trying. This guy is doing absolutely nothing, and that is the whole point of trying to make nothing. Yeah. And so I think Levy's in a situation where he's completely stumped.
He's in a good situation because Cam, if he fires him now, you're not going to have the fans up in arms saying, "Why have you fired him?" They could see how bad everything is. He could actually get away with firing, couldn't he?
He could, but he has to, though. Normally, he fires someone who thinks he can see us on the ropes, and then he just pulls the rug from under him. This guy doesn't even think he's on the ropes. He just doesn't give a crap.
Yeah. Steve, do you think we should? Who are we going? I mean, we have this discussion all the time. But probably you'll get bored with. Paulo Fonseca should be ready to come, or is he going to Newcastle?
I don't know who the hell. I don't know who would come.
I'll literally take Sam Allardyce
Yes.
Steve
What
Bruce.
about Ryan Mason?
You know, that's literally where
Well,
we're
that's
at.
what would happen. Ryan Mason would step in again, wouldn't he?
I'll happily
to,
take Ryan Mason right now.
I'd personally take Harry Redknapp
I
on an
think we
interim
should
basis.
Harry
take-
Redknapp.
Hold on a minute, guys. I think
Harry
we should
doesn't want
take.
the grief. He doesn't want the grief.
We should take somebody
On an
called.
interim basis.
You know what we should take? We should take somebody called anybody. Hashtag anybody. Anybody but Nuno. Anybody would do it.
Why don't we
You
start
could do
a
that.
hashtag, anybody but Nuno?
And what I will say is the Man United fans, and I hate to say this, I think they were
Embarrassed.
great. They really kept. I suppose it's easy to do that when you're winning 3-0, but they did. They sang throughout the entire game. They really got behind the
Yeah,
team.
but if that goal
and,
from Romero
they're-
goes in, you're not going to have that same reaction, are you?
yeah,
Their team were fired up, and our team was the same thing they've been doing all season. Whatever
well,
they want to call it when they walk around out there.
I would say their team was partly fired up because they weren't.
They didn't play well.
They
I
didn't
would
need
say
to
they
play
weren't
well,
going
Jan, to beat us.
completely hell for leather. They didn't have to.
They didn't play well. You can beat Spurs with your hands
Yeah.
tied behind your back right now.
You can.
Yeah.
Actually, you could have tied Ronaldo's legs together and made him hop around, and he probably would still beat us.
Okay, guys, let's wrap it up now. I think we're all irate. Cam, I'm going to come to you last, so I want you to think about what rant you're going to say. Steve, what's your final thoughts on this? Another something show. I can't say the word, but yeah, something show.
There's no easy solutions to this. This is a root and branch rebuild. So what we do, whoever we get in, we need someone who's prepared to take on a project and get supported. And also, I want some football. I'm at the stage where if we continue to play like this, I'm not going to buy a season ticket. I know that I can go to the odd game anyway, but I'm not going to go there week in, week out to see this paint drying stuff. It's just awful.
I think it's really coming down to the fans. If something isn't changed drastically within the next couple of months, you know, not just with Nuno, with the players, the openness between the management and the ownership. With the fans, they need to be more direct. You know, they need to stop messing around and talking about DNA. I want real answers and long-term plans and future goals, because it's just not happening. It just hasn't been happening for 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, the funny thing is, Jam, I really actually didn't even care whether we won or not. It's got that bad. I didn't actually care.
Firstly, I think that, look, as I said, hashtag anybody, but I think that we need someone with our DNA. Somebody that's got more understanding of what Tottenham's about. I would very happily have Chris Hughton come in to the end of the season. I mean, he is Spurs. He knows what he is. He can do something. I'd have Eddie Howe in. He's sitting there at home. He's better. Look, anybody is better. I mean, Allardyce is better. Anybody is better than Nuno right now because there's absolutely passionless team. And I don't believe that those managers would bring anything but passion. We need a hungry young manager. We had a chance to get Scott Parker, Tottenham DNA. We could have got Eddie Howe. We could have gone for somebody like that, but we didn't. We decided
Graham Potter.
Graham Potter was not going to come. Why would he come here?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Good time in Brighton.
We know you're talking about an absolute shambles. You name me one player who's going to give you more than 3 goals from the bench right now. Bergwijn hasn't scored in 2021. Dele Alli doesn't even know where the goal is. He doesn't even know what a goal. He doesn't even know what a football is, let alone what a goal is. We need somebody who can actually go back to the very basics and explain, you know, where the goals are and how to put the ball over the line.
Listen, thanks very much, Cam in Florida, Jam in Connecticut, Steve in London. Thanks, guys. Very depressing post-match. We didn't really talk about it much. We talk about what we think is going to happen at Spurs. And like good, obedient people, we'll be here after the next game. And hopefully we'll have something more, encouraging to talk about.
And
Thank
hopefully
you
we'll
very
be
much.
here tomorrow when
Thanks.
Nuno's been sacked.
Hopefully. But let's see what happens. We'll keep it tuned. Thanks very much, everybody. Take care.
You've been listening to the Spurs 9501 podcast. Stay in touch, continue the debate, and let us know what you want to discuss by finding us on YouTube. Tune in after the next match day for more insight. Thanks for listening.